crystal malt. And what you're trying to get here is as much intact husk as possible, and as little or not much flour, because that's going to block. The nature of these mills is going to crush the husk, and you see the other one is you don't want uncrushed malt, so that's uncrushed. It's a thin corn. You can see that there's some black malt in here, roasted malt. That's some oats.
Is that what's giving the smell as well, or what?
Yeah, part of it. So the crystal malt is like caramelized malt, and the black malt is roasted malt. So I've just made a mixture that'll give us a slightly darker colored beer, and it will also add a bit of flavor. I'll put it through a second time. It might not flow as well as the first. And I'll explain why I've got four. So this is the hot liquor tank, which is hot water tank. Okay, I'm heating it up to just about 70 degrees, and then I'm going to use that to mash in. It's got a 3 kilowatt element. Okay, you can't go much higher on a household, you'll trip your mains. But it takes about an hour. I've insulated this vessel as well. The second vessel is a mash conversion vessel. So at this point I'm not going to use this one today. I don't have a heater under it. And the idea was to circulate from here through this one to heat, but that hasn't worked yet. So I'm going to mash into the fourth vessel, which is my wort kettle, and is now my wort kettle and mash vessel. And then the fourth vessel is a lauter tun, and if you have a look here, it has a false bottom, and it's actually a keg that's been turned upside down. So if you have a look underneath it, you can see how the keg actually has been modified.
Okay.
Alright, so the idea then is you've got space for this false bottom. What this does is it separates the husks from the sweet wort. So what happens first is in your mashing vessel, your starches are converted to unfermentable and fermentable sugars. We're going to use two temperature stands, 64 degrees and 72 degrees, and then mash off at 76. Okay, we're going to heat it up using gas. But we're going to start off by putting
a gas burn underneath, have you?
underneath, yeah. So I've got electric heat, hot liquor and gas for the heating of the mash. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off by putting 15 liters of water into this vessel, and then we're going to add our malt. I'm aiming for 64, so I'm going to go around 70 because of the strike temperature reduction. Okay, so it's just insulation comes from a beer python, so that's one over there. It's used in draft dispense, so it's cut up and it actually is a very good insulator. Alright, everything on these vessels is half-inch British standard pipe, full bore valves, so it's a 3-piece ball valve, but the inner diameter of the ball is actually half-inch, where normally this one is also a half-inch but a quarter-inch diameter. These are cam lock fittings, quick release fittings, and what I've done is I've actually put in nipples into the back here, a barrel nipple, and I've had the thread machined off, so I can force the half-inch pipe, which is probably slightly less than half an inch, probably 3/8 of an inch. I forced it over the half-inch to give me my maximum diameter. My biggest worry is that we're going to battle to pump the mash, which will then mean we might have to manually transfer it. Hopefully not. Alright, so what we do here is we've got a centrifugal pump. It's a March pump. I've got a check valve on the outlet that allows me to throttle the flow down. So basically I'm going to open my hot liquor tank outlet. Alright, I'm going to open my mash vessel inlet. Okay, and prime the pump, which is, I don't have level control. There is facility to put a sight glass in here, which I haven't done. So I've got a dipstick. I'm looking for 15 liters. So I'm going to dip that. Okay, that's about 45, 48 liters. Let's open that. And you can come down and look here.
Action
So
stations.
away it goes. You'll see there's a U-bend there. That's to actually go towards the bottom of the vessel. That might give us problems later. We'll have to see. Let's just check that. It'll be easier to check up here. That one there. So that's 31.5 from 40, what did we say?
45, wasn't it? That was higher than that.
47. That's about right, huh? Yeah,
These
it
measurements.
should be reasonably close. I'll check that. I'm slightly over. A couple of liters over. 1.5 liters over is not a problem. Right. Now, our temperature is sitting at 64, so it's a little bit under, but that's not a problem because we can heat up. So now what we do is we add our mash. Okay. Now keep going. Now the key is obviously to keep this sort of mixed. So we do want to stir it, and especially when we are heating. Alright, let's just see what temperature we're at. Okay, so we're about 63, which is absolutely perfect. We're aiming for 64, I think we're on 63.
In about 62 at the moment, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a heat up with the gas.
Where does the word lauter come from? What does it mean, Tim?
It's a German word, and it means, I think, to separate.
Okay.
There we go. I'm going to put it on very low. This is actually going to be quite a dark beer. Darkish beer. You can see already from the mash. It's fairly dark. The homebrewer's biggest challenge is to cool stuff down. So what I employ is a two-phase strategy. So after the boil, I'm going to put this into the vessel, and at the same time then I'm going to use this vessel, which we didn't use today, as a chill liquor tank. So I'm going to put iced water in here, pump it through the coils, and you get very good heat exchange and heat transfer, and that'll cool the boiled wort down from about 98 down to about 60 or 50. And then the second phase will be to actually cool the wort through this one. So the wort will come in through the coils and out, and this will sit in a cooler box full of iced water. And then we're going to try and get down to 15 degrees Celsius.
Are you starting to underlet?
We're starting to underlet. If you take a shot here. This is quite quick. That's about it. Okay, so we've underlet. So we're just about there now, 76. So what we need to do now is to close that valve there.
Do you still need the heat onto that thing?
No, we're going to take the heat off. I'll just leave it on for now. Close that. Close that. And you're going to come in on the top. And then this. We are going to go onto here. It fits very nicely and easily. don't have a temperature either. Right, so now we're going to see whether this works. Turn off the gas. And what we need to see is whether we can get some flow here. Open that. Yeah, this one's got a screen where
The bottom's got
okay, now
it's got a little filter jewelry at the bottom.
The particles will stay on top.
I don't put it, put it
Not
out.
Pull it out more.
I want to see how it's flowing.
Give me a thick like gelatinized water.
Okay. That's the husk.
So it's been
Yeah.
sort of filtering itself going
You
through
want
the...
all of that in the next one.
So here you can see how the stuff's getting progressively clearer and clearer.
Okay. It's quite nice and clear now. Okay?
That's nice against the backlit against the light. You can see how
Let's
it's
have a look.
in the tubes, you know,
Yes. Cool. Not good for
oxidation.
oxidation, but
Right.
Good for
All right.
theatrics.
Maybe on the
I
radio.
think you did short pants today, and then I thought, no, let's not steal the show from David.
How's fine?
Master Brewer.
How's it?
What a pleasure, man.
I'm only here for an hour, but I thought
You're on the clock, eh?
I had to come and see this inaugural.
right. So we're basically ready to run off now. But
It's
the
just
key
right.
is to run off very slowly because we don't want to pull that bed and
Mhm.
collapse it. So that's where this valve comes into play. So we just gently open it.
Everything to don't you?
Why'd you say run off slowly so that when the ship doesn't...
Oh, that's
So
good.
it doesn't suck the bed and block. Even that's a bit before we go. Now what we have to do is to work out how much sparge. So we need 20 liters. So I need to do a dip.
Does it matter that that's at 85 or whatever it is?
That should be at 70. That's 28.5 minus 15. So open up the water. Start the pump. Slow.
Crap.
Might do.
I make tea in these things.
No, it's not that. It's extract. So what we're doing now is we're diluting the extract, and then we're going to run that off, and then we'll do a last sparge. Put that back here.
I think get a gardenia sprinkler on that starch thing.
Yeah. This bed is actually quite thick, eh?
Mm.
Yes. So almost what you need is you don't want it to suck down. So I can do some raking here.
But you don't want to disturb the bed, you
You
say?
don't want to disturb it. You see, this is too fast.
Yeah.
And it's all done mechanically at the brewery.
Yes.
So who rakes it then?
Machine rake. Raking machine. We're just boiling here. We've added the first hops at the start of boil. And essentially we're boiling for 1 hour using gas. Turn the gas up quite a bit from the mashing gas. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually preparing the cold liquor tank. So I'll just put some water in there and I'm going to put some ice in and then a cooler brick. Give that a chance to cool this water down. And I'm hoping to get the water down to about 7 degrees. We'll see how far we can get. Of course, you can use ice, but this is obviously reusable, and I have actually made some ice hopefully, so we'll see if I've got ice as well. We're adding some Zartop right at the end of the boil, a few minutes to the end. I've just crushed the pellets to make it to dissolve easier. And the Zarts will give us that aroma hop. It won't contribute to bitterness because we're adding it too late. So it will only contribute that lovely aroma, and hopefully the aromatic oils will not be boiled off. Okay, that's it. So now we're going to just go a couple of minutes of boil, and then we're basically done with the boil. Okay, so the boil is over, 60 minutes boil. We've added the Zaz hop just before the end of boil. And what's the objective now is to separate the trub, which is the coagulated protein. We'll be whirling the brew to do that and to create a whirlpool, so it's much like tea leaves in a teacup. They move to the center when you swirl it. But what we need to do as well is to cool this down. So what I'm going to do is remove the cladding. Okay, so that'll give an opportunity to cool. And what we'll do is we'll put in a cooling coil into this brew, and then we'll pump cold water through that cooling coil. Okay, that's it. What we're doing now is we're adapting the two sets of fittings, like so. And then this clips into the fitting here, like so. And then we need to transfer from a hot liquor tank to a cold liquor tank. Okay, which is here. Iced water, and its temperature is currently at 6 degrees Celsius. So 6-degree water is being pumped through this system via this connection through this coil, okay, which is sitting inside the wort, and the temperature coming out is very hot. Okay, so what it's doing is it's the cold water is transferring heat, and it's been heated up, and in so doing is cooling down the boiled wort. So the boiled wort currently is sitting at 66 degrees.
You need to get it down to?
We want to get it down as low as possible, but hopefully less than 50. Because then we're going to do a second stage where we actually move the wort through its own chiller, all right, and then into the fermenter. So we want to get that down to 15 Celsius.
15.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll have a genuine sitting at 13 Celsius, which is fine. We've actually taken the coil out the ice because it's too cold. Sean? Too efficient. Just get the temperature of the wort.
Here goes the starter's pistol.
I might add a little bit more for luck. I think I'm going to add another 100, another, let's say it's 20%, 20 grams. 40 grams. Okay.
Don't start with incoming stream. Go out and start again.
Once the head stays here, that's the way to go.
I haven't checked the temperature lately, so I'm actually neglecting.
You fill it right to the top, then you can see the meniscus liquor.
I can see it's just below the blue line. So it's about 10 to 48, 1.048 divided by 4 48 divided by 4 is 12. 12 Plato, which is what I aim for in this brew. So my extraction is close to 100%, which in terms of homebrewing terms is 75%. It's actually a lot better.